Hello and welcome back to the Red Path. Today I'm going to do something a little different and focus more on the hobby and discuss some of the best ways I think you can make your own custom berserkers. I've got my fingers crossed that by making this video, Games Workshop will immediately make it worthless and announce a brand new model range for Chaos Space Marines, including updated Berserkers, Mutilators, Bikers, an actual Exalted Champion model, and a few other things we could do with, even Noise Marines. But in the event that they don't want to take all my money at this very moment, I figured I'd try and broach the subject. I recently asked the community what they'd like to see more of on the channel, and there were lots of great suggestions, some of which I already have partially planned. But this one felt right to try. Whilst playing the game competitively is my first love with 40k, I do also really enjoy the lore, whether playing narrative fluff games or reading through the ever-growing wealth of fiction available. That being said, I'm pretty low tier when it comes to the hobby. I've got a fair amount of my world eaters painted to tabletop standard, barely. They look tolerable from about 3 feet away. I have a decent chunk of my Inquisition force painted too, but we don't talk about the Corpse Emperor here, so ignore that. But ultimately, my hobby game is low. A combination of shaky hands, age-related crappy eyesight, my main daily nutrition being nicotine and caffeine, and a simple lack of time to practice means my painting and modelling never gets the love it deserves. However, whilst I don't particularly enjoy painting, I do enjoy kit bashing. When I do get the time, I'm very happy to sit and shave trims off of plastic or mould green stuff to make an arm sit correctly. I'm not that good at it, but I enjoy it, and that's what matters. And here's where the two things intertwine. The fun of kit bashing and the severe lack of models for berserkers. Given that, I figured I'd show some of the available options to kit bash your own. Now, personally, I only use Games Workshop stuff. This is primarily because I want my models to always be tournament legal. I feel it's better to future-proof for this, but also because I know the scales will always kind of match and the bits are plentiful in their availability. Don't get me wrong, companies like Cromlech, Anvil, Statuesque, they offer some absolutely amazing stuff, and I use lots of it in other non-GW related projects, but for my World Eaters specifically, I stick to first party stuff. The obvious kit bash is probably the most common, and for good reason. It looks awesome. Using parts from the latest Chaos Space Marine model and the Age of Sigmar Blood Warriors line, this combination realises the traditional Berserker aesthetic almost perfectly. The excellent head options that accentuate the remissum as a focal point of the Berserkers and the brutally practical melee weapons available offer a great deal of variation in your kit bashes. I do have some minor criticism of this kit bash combo though. First, it's pretty common. Nothing wrong with that, but if you're looking to make something unique, this doesn't really cut it. And second, you really want to make sure you obscure or remove any obviously fantasy elements like the leather boots. The armour itself crosses over almost flawlessly, but the boots are a pretty obvious giveaway. Price-wise, with some creative modelling, you can get about 20 models for about $120. The Chaos Space Marine box from GW is $60 American, and the Blood Warrior kit comes in at $62. Another fairly common kit bash, at least recently, is more of an upgrade than a full-on bash, combining the new Assault Intercessors with various bits of kit, likely from ForgeWorld. This is my method of choice. Cue embarrassingly still unpainted Berserkers on screen. Combining the Intercessor body with a killer shaved off, Mark II veteran heads and a few weapon options from a Rampager squad. However, some other great options include the World Eaters conversion kit and the standard Mark II helmets. Personally, I prefer this combo because the Intercessor torsos have some great dynamic poses, which Berserkers absolutely need, and they gel well with the Heresy era options from ForgeWorld. On the downside, however, is the price. Whilst I love me some ForgeWorld goodness, it is premium pricing for premium product, and it's not cheap to kit out even a squad of 10 Berserkers this way. Check the prices listed on the screen. You don't need everything here, but for just 10 models you've got a base of $60 for the Assault Intercessors, then around $20 for 10 helmets. Then for your weapon options, a kit of just 5 Rampagers is another $60, and seeing as ForgeWorld doesn't seem to stock their chain axes anymore, you may have to shop around a little bit or use some old Berserker pits. Those are really the two main ways to kit bash your Berserkers as I see it, but of course you could combine anything in between those, and utilise the old Berserker kit to fill in the gaps with chain axes, helmets, pauldrons, etc. As a note, the Raptor kit comes with some kick-ass chainswords with a nice chaos theme to them. Though really any variation will work, they're a pretty common weapon in the 40k universe, and World Eaters aren't particularly picky when it comes to weapons. If it hits, it fits after all. I will, however, give some honourable mentions to other kits available that may offer ideas for other Cornate Cultists, Special HQs, or even for your Berserkers. The Goliath Zerker from Forgeworld is a truly awesome model that could really capture a Berserker fall into possession with a little kit bashing. The Mercator Sanguis Slavers have some interesting options for their weapons and armoured body parts that might work well in your conversions. The Eightfold Harvest Lord is fairly trapped in his human aspect, but perhaps as a cultist or with some imaginative knife work could become parted out to improve an Astartes torso. The Corpse Grinders from Necromunda could also serve fairly well as cultists or for axe and sword parts if necessary, as would the Goliath Gangers. Any of the Cornate character units pictured below would also fit neatly into a World Eaters list with a backpack here and a pauldron there, perhaps with some minor weapon changes where necessary. All of the models and bits I've included are available at gamesworkshop.com and forgeworld.co.uk or through your local FLGS or preferred GW vendor. As I stated at the beginning of the video, I'm hoping it will become invalid quite quickly and a new line of Berserkers will be announced in the coming months. But in the meantime, what better way to spend those Christmas gift cards than on more Berserkers? Okay folks, that's the end of this one. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you'd like more hobby related videos, be sure to let me know in the comments. Make sure to follow the Red Path Facebook page to get involved with future content questions and polls and things like that, and also to be alerted immediately when a new video gets uploaded. Speaking of which, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. I don't make any money from this, but that's not why I do it. Honestly, I'm hoping to eventually get enough support that Games Workshop considers me someone worthy of getting early access to codexes and supplements and things like that, as I'd love to be able to provide a really in-depth review of whatever content is eventually released for the World Eaters as soon as possible. I know other channels will do a great job covering stuff, but I'd really like to be able to focus on our favourite legion and get you the answers to questions we all have as soon as possible. So if you have a friend or community that might be interested in the channel, please recommend it to them. I'm really enjoying putting out content for everybody, and I hope to continue doing so for a long time. So, as always, leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs down if you didn't. Feel free to share and subscribe if you're so inclined, but most importantly, stay healthy, stay safe, and kill main bird.